Welcome into your latest ESPN headline. I am Doug Kazarian. Michael Sam made NFL history, drafted as the first openly gay player in the NFL. Of course, he was selected in the 7th round by the St. Louis Rams. And then there was a documentary series scheduled by the Oprah Winfrey Network. That has since been postponed. Sam's agent, Cameron Weiss, had this to say, quote, "After today's meeting with the Rams, we felt it best to postpone the project. This will allow for Michael to have total focus on football and will ensure no distractions to his teammates. Everybody involved remains committed to project and understands its historical importance as well as its positive message." For more, we welcome in ESPN Sports business reporter Darren Rovell. And Darren, what more can you tell us about this postponement?
Well, you know, Doug, the Rams and the NFL wanted to know more about this. And although Cameron Weiss had told them that this really wouldn't be revolving around football, and that's one of the reasons why they weren't filled in on the situation, Cameron flew into St. Louis today to talk with the Rams and felt that, you know, since ultimately, as Michael Sam's agent, it's in Michael's best interest, his interest as the agent, and even the Oprah Winfrey Network's best interest for Michael to concentrate on making this team, that it was best that this was kind of seen as a distraction in the short term, and that they postpone this. Obviously, the Oprah Winfrey Network, they benefit from the fact that, you know, if Michael Sam makes this team. And so while I think Michael Sam's people and Michael Sam didn't think it was a distraction, the fact that maybe the outsiders did, that's kind of what led to this.
Now, Darren, you obviously have a strong pulse of the situation and really the ESPN Sports or the sports marketplace with all this. What's Michael Sam's brand value worth, so to speak?
Well, aside from Johnny Manziel, good or bad or indifferent, he's been the most talked about person around this draft, the most talked about player. He has sold more jerseys than the number one pick, Jadeveon Clowney. I think it just depends on where you fall on this. I personally don't think this was a big deal that this documentary series was happening. I think Michael Sam could have, you know, concentrated on football, and he was going to try to make the team anyway. But others don't think that you can have cameras in your face and at the same time try to make the team. Listen, it's Michael Sam's will to have cameras in there or not. But, I think this was probably the right decision to postpone this because he really doesn't need any distractions. And potentially, if the Rams thought this was a big enough distraction, they might have not even signed him, and they still haven't signed him, by the way. So I think this was probably necessary to get him signed, to then allow him to try to make the team.
What are some other ventures that could possibly come to fruition involving Michael Sam or advertisers and sponsorships? What are some other things potentially in the making?
Well, I think there is obviously large disposable income in the gay community, but I'm not even sure that's where he would make his money. I think he could make his money as a trailblazer. That being said, I think corporate America doesn't necessarily care that he's the first openly gay player that is drafted. I think corporate America cares more that he's the first openly gay player to play in the NFL. So I think there's some opportunities now that he could take. He has a visa deal. They did a video with him. I think he could probably get another deal. I think he can get a shoe and apparel deal potentially now. But I think the big deals and the rest of the deals would come if he makes the team and is actually playing.
All right, that'll come training camp time later in the summer. That's ESPN Sports business reporter Darren Rovell joining us on the latest with the postponement of Michael Sam's documentary series on the OWN. For all your ESPN headlines, keep it right here on ESPN.com.